So let him sit in the car, turn your lights off, and shut up and follow the traffic like everybody else. Don't get me wrong, there are some 2% of Ghanaians that are genuine.
2%.
No, I'm being real. I've lost, I think, more than $25,000 on land acquisitions, yeah. When I came in 2013, I wish I bought land in East Legon. I wish I bought land in Tenants. With Ghana, what's unique about it is that you can come here and reinvent yourself.
Have you ever been arrested here?
Oh yeah. I don't think Ghana, or I say Africa as a whole, was ever ready for social media. Ghana, you have to, you got to pay to play. What are you going to do? If they've got nothing, what are you going to sue them for? Ghana ain't easy, Trust me. Nkrumah was the one that brought these systems in place. Are you better than Nkrumah? Do you have a better mind than Nkrumah?
Do you think that it's easier to make money in Ghana than it is in the West?
Yes.
How much money do you reckon you were pulling at the time from Airbnb?
You know who stole it. Because...
What was your construction process like?
Right, and never second guess yourself. If you know you're right, stay on it, right? I've been in this game a long time, and how you spoke to me in front of my workers, I felt like you were disrespecting me, so I moved it back.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Built for Ghana. Today I have with me my friend Gabriel. Hey Gabriel, how you doing?
I'm cool.
Nice to have you on here. I've never interviewed you before.
I know, it's been a long time.
I know. Do you do interviews?
No, I do. Yeah.
Do?
I've been doing interviews for a while, but it's funny because obviously I started my production company now, so I do a lot more stuff behind the scenes than in front of the camera.
Okay. All right, so first of all, let's start with my standard question. Are you Ghanaian?
Of course. Both parents. I might have been born, or I should say I might have been accidentally born in the UK, but I'm from Ghana. Okay.
And you've been in Ghana a while. How long? When did you move to Ghana?
I think we moved around about the same time. So 2013. I tried it in 2009, didn't really work out for the year. Yeah. Left and came back in 2013, yeah.
Okay, I came 2014, so I came just after you. Yeah. All right, okay. So what made you want to come back to Ghana?
Well, funny enough, I went to secondary school here.
Oh, did you? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went to Addisada College and completed in Ghanata, Form 5. And at the time when I left, Ghana weren't that great, to be honest. I had a good experience in school, but it wasn't that great. So when my uncle died in 2004, I came for the funeral. Then looked around and drove around, and I was like, this country's changing. So the whole mindset was like, eventually, I will come to Ghana and settle. Yeah.
That's interesting because even back then, although it was developing, I feel like the development was kind of slow. There was still a lot of things that the country was lacking. And so it still would have been tough to move. What was your experience like when you first moved?
I think, funny enough, because my mum was here first. So she retired. She retired early, actually. Then she completed her house in 2001. So she was already here. Okay. So when I came over, it was kind of like a soft landing because I stayed at hers. Right. And so you learn a few things as you move, move around town. So because it had been a while since I had actually moved around all over the place. But she had a driver, so it was just easier.
Oh, that's easier. Okay, you had it
let's
good.
Go here, let's go there, blah, blah. And as soon as I, figured my way around town, that was it. I drove myself everywhere.
Okay. So what happened in 2009 that made you come, but then you left? What happened?
At the time, I flew over with my partner at the time and the children, and it just didn't work out with me and her. And she left back to the UK. I was still doing work over here with quite a few big companies, but because my family at that time had left, I couldn't really concentrate. So I wrapped up quickly at the end of the year. I think it was around about November. Flew back to the UK just to make sure they were okay. Then when I found out that there were, I think it took about 2 years or so just to make sure that everything was okay. Then, we broke up, then I moved to Ghana.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what's the journey been like since that point? Like from, say, 2013 when you were here up till now, what have you seen in the change in Ghana?
Massive change. I will tell you this. When when I came in 2013, I wish I bought land in East Legon. I wish I bought land on Spintex.
Yeah.
Listen, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If I knew what it was going to develop into, I would have invested years ago.
Yeah.
You know what? I would have invested in my 20s. Seriously.
That part,
I would have
yeah.
invested a long time ago. Because the thing is, I remember coming over to this side of town to visit my uncles and stuff, and East Legon was a bush. And I'm not talking about 2013, I'm talking about early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
And even in the 90s, it wasn't anything to look at.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember Spintex Road being like a gravelly road. Nobody really went to Spintex.
Yep.
Do I know that now? If you were to get a plot, it's like how much millions of dollars.
I know. But did it feel like those places were expensive at the time?
No. It didn't feel like it was out of reach. So
can you remember how much it was going for?
That area I'm not too sure, but I was living with my aunt at the time in Laboni.
Yeah.
And Laboni was, seen as, a rich area. And even then it wasn't that expensive. Because my mom was going to buy a property in, I think that area was Cantonments. When we were staying over there. And that was going for like $120,000 at the time.
Take out a bank loan and buy it, my goodness.
And when you think about it, the pound was really strong then. It was 2 to 1 to the dollar. So, you could easily have, pulled out some equity out of your house in the UK and bought something here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
seriously, when you think back to that time, it's like it does hurt because hindsight is such an amazing thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Had you had the hindsight to say, okay, I'm going to invest here, there, and everywhere, you'd have been property rich. Like the kind of money that you would have had bought land for here. Buying it now, you'd have to go out to get those kind of prices. To get 120k's worth of land, you have to go out a bit. Do you know what I mean? And even that, you may not get the right size because now they cut land much smaller. They've shrunk everything, So it's a different ball game. But yeah, Ghana has developed so much. Is there anything that apart from the land that you regret that you should have done that you didn't do?
In 2013?
Yeah.
I don't think so. For me, 2013 was pretty short in a sense that I moved to Ghana in June. The end of June.
Right.
Then literally as soon as I got here, I was working. I had my recording studio set up here already, and I was working with different artists. And I met my wife literally 2 weeks after.
Really?
Yeah, that's a whole different story altogether. So, I finished recording at the studio that time. It was me, Guilty Beats. He was still in school at the time, still in university at the time. We finished recording session. Then I went to Republic. That time Republic was just just opened. So I went there to go and relax, and I was just chilling. Then these flight attendants just came on my table. But the thing is, I didn't know who they were because I already bought my drink, and my drink was on the table. I went to the washroom, came back, and my table was full. I was like, what's going on here? So I didn't say anything. I just left them talking and whatever. Then one of them turned around to me and said, don't I feel uncomfortable? And I said, uncomfortable for what? They said, well, we're all talking to each other. You're not joining in. It's like you're gate crushing our party. And I said, hold on a second. I said, when you came here, did you see a drink on the table? Yeah. They don't know we're from London. You understand? So we got a sharp mouth as well. So she turned around. She's from New York. She turned around and said, don't you feel uncomfortable? It's like you're gate crushing our party. I said, no, you're gate crushing my party. Didn't you see this this glass with a drink in it when you came? She said, yeah. I said, that's mine. I went to the toilet, came back, and so you're gate crushing my party. Yeah. So she's like, yo, I like the way you stood up for yourself. Let's come and join us. So I started talking to them. Next thing I know, my wife, I didn't know she was going to be my wife at the time, but she came, sat down, and we kind of locked eyes. But it was that she wasn't really interacting with a lot of people because she's kind of quiet. So she was quiet, and I was like, why is she so quiet and everybody else is loud? So we went to is it Aphrodisiac? It was a nightclub called Aphrodisiac, right?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, I wasn't outside at that time.
Okay, yeah. It was, I think they were doing reggae and stuff like that. So we all moved together over there. And me, when they dropped the reggae, that was it. So she was dancing by herself, and I went to go and dance behind her. Next thing you know, we're 13 years in,
13 years in and 2 kids, huh?
Yeah, straight.
Dang, I love that. That's so nice.
Yeah. So if sorry, to revert back to what you were saying, what would I change? I don't think I would have changed anything because Ghana is a place that's constantly evolving. Okay, it's one of those countries. Even though I travel a lot, with Ghana, what's unique about it is that you can come here and reinvent yourself. Yes. And that's what I really love about this country. You could be in the UK, for example, they train us to have one job and that's your job for life. Yes. Okay, but it doesn't help if you're multi-talented. It's like, oh, you need to find your lane. No, you don't. Who told you that? Yeah. I've come here with a lot of different talents and I've managed to use every single one of them. And I'm winning. I love that. That is so true. I've never heard someone sum up like that. You can come to Ghana and reinvent yourself. That is absolutely 100% the truth. Like you can literally be whoever you want to be here. And it's not as easy to do that in the West, as you said, because of how we've been trained. I feel like those in the States, their minds are a little bit more open than we are in the UK. UK is very much about get a job, a full-time job, and stay there forever until you get your pension. But I think Americans are a little bit better. But in Ghana, like everything, the floodgates are open for you to do whatever you want to do. So I love that. So tell me, when you came, did you know what you wanted to do business-wise? In 2009, when we left the UK, I already shipped over my recording studio. Oh, so you were doing that in the UK? Yeah. So, I mean, I've been in the music industry for over 30 years now. So, I always had my recording equipment. So, so when we left, I shipped that over. And so when I got back in 2013, it was already set up in Dela and stuff like that. So I kind of jumped straight into work. In terms of it being, turn it over to, to make it a profit. It wasn't one of those things because, Ghana, the music industry over here, is like, it doesn't really, it's not like Nigeria, right? Nigerians, when they put out their music, they're very supportive of their own. Right. Ghana, you have to, you got to pay to play. And the artists, they don't respect paperwork. So you can sign an artist thinking that, okay, we've done, I've done my due diligence to sign them legally and everything. What are you going to do? If they've got nothing, what are you going to sue them for? So it's, exactly. So it's pointless. So, you have so many artists come to you who are really good. Yeah. You develop them when it comes to, doing a tour or trying to do other things. Yeah. Once they get wind, once you've developed them to a certain level, then another company says, oh, jump ship. They will disappear within a heartbeat. And there's, legally, maybe now you could do, but back then, even the law firms that you approach, they'll tell you, look, my friend, just move on. Yeah. Gosh. Which is sad. Wow. Which is really sad. So it's a lot harder to do music here. Not now. Now, I think there are systems in place and the legal framework seems to be working now. Okay. So eventually that business was actually making money for you? It's making money now. It's making money now. Okay, so it wasn't something that was making money at the beginning? No. When I came over, I was literally, I was basically living off my savings. I went from, driving, I was driving my mom's car at the time because I wasn't really sure if I was going to be here 100%, so I didn't buy a vehicle. Yeah. Even though I had a little runaround, but it was this American car that just had... Put it this way, it was a guzzler. Oh, okay. So, there was times I'll take, Uber was just new at the time. So it's either I'll take an Uber, I'll take a taxi. But after some time, you realize, boy, this is getting expensive, It's getting expensive. So I went into real estate. So started building my first apartment blocks. Really? Completed that within 18 months. Then, Airbnb, dang, killing it. So hold on, so how much money did you come, to have built in 18 months? You must have come with a good amount of money. Well, it wasn't even that. It was, you take your time, you build the ground floor. So I was even though it takes, So even when we built the ground floor, right? And I say we because it's myself and my wife. So we put our resources together to build. When we done the ground floor and we were just about to start the next level, the American Embassy, we got a client from the American Embassy. I think she was a researcher. In fact, there was two of them. Right. They rented the ground floor. Oh. So they paid money up front. So bam, next level. So I went to the next level. Then We had some other Americans that took the 2 apartments. No, one French and another was American. Took the next level, got the money from that, bam, did the next level.
How are these people finding you?
I network a lot as well. Well, I should say used to. I used to be like on the scene, go to different bars and stuff and meet people, business heads, whether it's in the hotels and stuff like that. Or, the funny thing is, what I like about Ghana in terms of you reinventing yourself, for example, you could just go for a swim at La Palm Hotel or whatever. Yeah. But that's when you meet the execs. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you can have that conversation. I remember when I was here in 2009, for example, who turned out to be a good friend of mine. He was managing CFAO.
Okay.
And, they were a car company, they were doing Mitsubishi at the time, and a couple of other brands. Yeah. And, after getting to know him on a social level, I think it was on a Friday, he said to me, Gabriel, because I know you do graphic designing and stuff, can you do me an email campaign letter? And I said, yeah, I could do that. I could knock that out over the weekend. Yeah. And this was on a Friday. We were drinking. And the Vodafone guys were there as well. And, so like we all used to go out and hang out and stuff. Then I said, yeah, we can do that. We can knock it out. Yeah. By Monday, I had a draft, sent it to him. Lovely. He's like, come over, I'll sign the check, done.
Really?
Yeah, and that was for a couple of $1,000s. So
for an email campaign?
Yeah. Listen.
Damn it.
I don't want to be putting out my business like that, But the reality is, 2009, I made a hell of a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Give us a ballpark. We want to know. We want to know, what people, because people are watching this, right, and they want to know really what it's like on the ground. Some people do really well, some people not so well, some people just kind of fair. So we want to know, what sets people apart.
Customer service is a major one, right? Customer service sucks in this country. I'm not even going to lie to you. Yeah. So for me, having my experience from the UK was about, adding value, right? So when the client says, can you do this within a week? Yeah. I give it to them within 5 days. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're like, whoa, this never happens. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's about giving them something that they've never felt here. And the majority of my contracts that I got within 2009 was because of that. When I did the work for CFAO, automatically I did another work for another big company. I did a flyer for Galaxy International, and that was at Accra Mall for at least 3 or 4 years. Really? When you drove there, you saw it. Yeah. And then on the back of that, I had other gigs, and it's because I delivered. Once you're known as a person that can deliver, other people are going to recommend you. Yeah. Do you think a lot of your opportunities came because Ghana wasn't so saturated with the diaspora, and so therefore there were a lot more opportunities available? Yes. I definitely will say that. Yeah. Because now it's totally different. There's a lot more diasporans over that have similar skills. Yes. And you're one of 1,000 now. Yeah. So it's like in the UK, for example, if you try to operate in IT, you're one of how many million? Yeah. If you operate as a web designer, you're one of multiple. Yeah. So when you go to a country that doesn't have those kind of things, then you're the new guy on the block with the new skills. All of a sudden, bang, you're the person to go to. Do you see what I'm saying? Right. So I fell in at a time that was good, that was profitable. And so coming back, the unfortunate thing is when I got back in 2013, a lot of those doors had closed because a lot of the execs had moved on. Some have gone back to the UK. Ian had moved to Turkey, I think it was. And, quite a few people had moved on. So the guys at Nestle, I think they had moved as well. Yeah. One to South Africa, another one back to wherever he came from, I can't remember. But it was just one of those situations that people had their time in Ghana was up and they moved on. Yeah. Do you feel like Ghana has a high turnover rate when it comes to people moving here and then leaving, would you say? I'm not sure about now, but I know before I can understand why, if it was, why they had a high turnover. Because Ghana ain't easy, Trust me. I remember when I used to get the CFL checks, I used to get it from Kwame Nkrumah Circle area. I can't remember the name of the area. I think it's North Industrial area, right? And back then, the roads weren't done. So just to go pick up a check.
Yeah.
Like you'll be in traffic for about 2 hours on a small stretch of road. It's only because there's these big trucks. The roads are all messed up, and if it was raining, forget about it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So when they moved to Airport City, perfect.
Wow.
You know, so when people leave because of frustration, it wasn't because you couldn't get anything here. It's just the movement at the time was really bad.
Yeah.
Now the roads are much better now. There's a lot more access roads. A lot of the roads have been tarred and stuff. So, you know, in terms of logistics, it's not really a problem now. So if people do stay longer now, I can understand why. There's a lot more places that you can go to for recreational purposes. There's a lot more restaurants, bars, you name it. Are they expensive? Hell yeah. But at least if you're used to that kind of lifestyle, wherever you come from, then you can easily identify when you get here.
Yeah. Do you think that it's easier to make money in Ghana than it is in the West?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Okay, from a personal experience, in England, I didn't own a property because it was very difficult to get on to the property ladder.
Yeah.
You had to save so much, and it just came with so much red tape.
Yeah.
I own 9 properties.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And in a space of 13 years.
Wow.
So.
How many people can say that in the UK, that they actually own it? Like you own it or you have a mortgage? Let's clarify for people.
Cash. Yeah. Do not get it twisted. Right? Yeah, it's cash. It was not about mortgage. Not at all. So Ghana's not one of those countries, even though there are mortgages, the interest rate is too high.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So and like I said, you know, we had the money to build the ground floor.
Yeah.
Then after that, pull from that, pull up from next. So, you know, the first one was like 5 units. You know, so from not having an apartment or owning anything in the UK, for example, to owning 5 within the first development. Then there's other properties as well.
Wow.
So it's I love the real estate game because I like the fact that I know how it feels to be a tenant. So, I mean, you can ask any of my tenants, you know, as a landlord, I'm very good to my tenants. Any issue, you know, we have a WhatsApp group. You know, if there's any problems, they message each other. Within 24 hours, it's done.
Really?
Because they spend a lot of money. So it's only right that, you know, they get the service that, you know, that they expect.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about those properties that you have. They're Airbnbs, are they?
No. Now I've got long-term tenants.
Long-term tenants. Why did you switch?
Right. So after, I think it was, when was the Corona? Corona was what, 2020?
2021, 2020 or something like that? I don't even know. I can't remember.
It was so bad. But anyway, the Airbnb market tanked.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, those that were stuck in Ghana turned out to be my long-term tenants. So they stayed until the borders opened up and they were able to leave. So that's where the idea came that, you know what, I might just start, you know, doing long-term. Because Airbnb, without the right team, can be very challenging.
Yes.
So if you haven't got the right cleaner, you know, I've had so many different cleaners, you know, they come. And the funny things in Ghana, you know who stole it. Because, you know, they've got the knife and fork is always there, but the spoons are missing. You know the cleaner stole it. Because they're not used to using knife and fork, so they're not going to steal what they don't use. Do you see what I'm saying? So I knew, Then I had, you know, bed sheets missing and towels missing and, you know, and it's one here and one there, and you get the mismatched pillows. I'm like, nah. I know it was you. So I went for a, you know, constantly changing bed sheets and, you know, replenishing the Airbnbs. And it reached a point where I said, I don't want to do this no more. You know? So I didn't mind taking a duck in my income in order to make sure that I've got, you know, I'm sane. So, so, you know, me and my wife, we sat down and we discussed it, like, you know, let's move away from the Airbnb model, even though we made, you know, a decent amount on it. But at least with this model, I don't even, it's almost like it self-manages. Because everyone that's in there, if they're not like from an embassy or a company or, you know, they're really good tenants.
Yeah.
Very, very good tenants.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much would you say you were pulling in? How many apartments was there?
At the time, it was 5.
5. How much money do you reckon you were pulling in at the time from Airbnb?
My gosh. The 2 beds might have been, the maximum would have been like 1,008 to 2,000 a month.
Wow.
On the 2 beds. The 1 beds was averaging like 1,003.
Oof.
1,003 a month.
It's not bad, is it? No wonder you built your houses like that. Like, what?
Yeah, it's listen, Ghana's definitely the place to, to develop and make money. And what's more important as well, because obviously what you make, you do, the state gets their own. You always have to pay your taxes. But you can still live. You can still invest into other things. Do you see what I'm saying? And I would never have got this opportunity if I never made it here.
It's very, very true.
If I had to do it all again, would I do it this way? Yep. Definitely.
So you bought a plot of land and then you built?
No, correction. My grandfather bought a lot of Asylum Down, right?
Right.
This particular strip in Asylum Down, sorry, not Asylum Down. This particular strip, and he gave the land to family members. So what I inherited, because obviously my dad's passed away, so what I inherited from my grandfather or directly from my father is what I built on.
Oh, I see. So, like owning property in Ghana is like one of the best things that you can absolutely have.
Oh, definitely.
Someone pointed out to me recently that a lot of diasporans that move to Ghana and end up moving back to the West is because they don't own any property, so they find it hard to have stable feet here. And I think it's very true, because afterwards I sat down and I thought about it and I was like, actually, the people that have been here for a long period of time actually have some type of property. They have some like real investment here. And would, like, do you agree with that?
100%. And I think the Ghanaian UK connection is different to any other, let's say the US connection. Because the thing is, it's only a 6 hour, 20 minute flight. And a lot of us used to come to Ghana on a regular basis. Do you see what I'm saying? And, families had, they've got homes and stuff. So it's much easier for us to come and set up, and set up bases and stuff. With the African American experience, I think it's totally different, because they come with, not knowing anybody.
Right.
The ones that I know came over during the 2019, during the year of return. They came over, partied, loved it, and they wanted to come back and try it out. I would say 50% have gone back. And those that are here, they invested. They bought land, they built. They are now chiefs or queen mothers in different regions and stuff like that. So they've made here home. And because they've made that choice to make here home, they're here.
Okay. So what was your building experience like? Because I know when we come from the UK, we are used to seeing things built a certain way, or not even having to build, right? And then you come here and now you're walking into a market where you're watching laborers and project managers trying to construct for you. What was your construction process like?
Right. Where do I start? Right. So it was 20 years ago that I completed, I did a building course in the UK.
Oh, okay.
So I knew about construction anyway. So I dabbled in building, kitchen refurbs. I've done a bit of plumbing and stuff like that as well. So even though I was doing, the music industry, and I had a regular job as well. So I was working for probation as well. I was a senior case administrator for probation in the UK. Okay. So, so I had a background in building and construction. Because I'd done the course and I'd done, 1 or 2 construction jobs in the UK as a side hustle. So when I got here and I started building, the practices are totally different. Like, in the UK, you have to have a CSCS card and all that kind of stuff before you can work. Here, the workers come on site with chaliwate, head gear, It's like personal protection just goes out, PPE goes out the window. But they still get the job done. you know, coming from that kind of experience, you see things totally different, especially when it comes to the finishing, right? So the guy that was working on my building, for example, we got into a big argument only because of, he was an older dude. I think he was coming up to 70, he was retired, but, and it's that whole thing of, do you know who I am? And, you know, that kind of tussle. And I told him, like, look, I'm not here to replace your job. You're working for me, you're building my apartment. But I can see, based on this, it's about 2 inches out. So, and this is when they were doing the setting out. You know, I walked around, I was taking a look, and I was like, no, this is off. This looks shorter here than it does there. And it's roughly about 2 inches. So I called him in the next day, and I said, no, it was that evening, and I said, you need to move the string over by 2 inches. It's out. And I think even if you measure it, you're going to realize I'm right. And he says, no, I've measured it 3 or 4 times already, and I know I'm correct. And it wasn't only on that place, it was at the back as well. And I was like, no, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. And never second guess yourself. If you know you're right, stay on it, right? So he took out the tape measure, measured it up. Guess what it was?
It was out.
Exactly 2 inches out.
Really?
Exactly 2 inches out.
Did you get an apology?
No, he never apologized. What happened was, the next day when he came to site, how about he moved it back to where he wanted it?
No, he didn't.
Oh yeah. So when they did the foundation and everything, it was too late because I wasn't on site that day. So I can't remember what happened, but I had to go somewhere, so I was away for 2 days. By the time they had already cast the concrete, they had done every block work and everything. So the time I got back, I looked at it and I said, this still feels off. So I called him, I said, what happened? Because this still feels off. He was like, oh, you know, I've been in this game a long time, and you know how you spoke to me in front of my workers. You know, I felt like you were disrespecting me, so I moved it back. I went, what? And the thing is, I didn't even disrespect him. I just said to him, I think it's out. Right. Do you understand? And I explained to him that, look,
the fact that you questioned him.
The fact, exactly. So you know, you've got to. It's a whole different experience when you're coming over with, they see it as, oh, you think you know better because you're outside. Do I even comment to that? There are people that know their work here, but sometimes they do need to humble themselves because regardless of age, you know, regardless of age, you could still be put in your place. You know, someone can still teach you. You know, I'm 50, I'm going to be 51 in September. And, you know, I do, even with the documentary stuff that I do, there's some guys that are editors that are running rings around me. You know, they're using Da Vinci and I'm like, oh, show me how to do this. I'm humble enough to say, teach me how to do this. Because I don't know it. I'm not going to say, do you know how long I've been doing this? And what's the point? You know, I've had, there's a lot of great ideas that I've had about doing, you know, construction. And I remember even some guys said to me, you know, Nkrumah was the one that brought these systems in place. Are you better than Nkrumah? Do you have a better mind than Nkrumah?
Wow.
I was like, you do realize that Nkrumah's been gone a long time.
Right,
and, you know, we're in 2020, wherever it was. You know, and it's like, I don't have an answer to that. What I'm saying is, I know that this will work. And I think this was, we were talking about road construction. That's what it was. And I said, it's a shame about Ghana. They don't build, they build for today. They don't build for the future. You know, I said during Nkrumah's time, you know, the Tema motorway was perfect. They weren't many, they never had a lot of cars that they do have now. Right? But now, obviously, we need wider roads. We need, you know, storm drains. I spoke about storm drains. I spoke about cycle lanes. That's what it was. Yeah, the guy got upset because I said there needs to be cycle lanes. Cycle lanes and pavements, right? And it's like, oh, Nkrumah designed all of these roads. Are you better than Nkrumah? Do you think you know better? And I had to tell him that, look, it was a different time.
Absolutely.
What he done, what he managed to achieve, and if it, you know, because I don't want to get into politics, but if it was allowed for him to continue his vision, Ghana would be a much different place. You know, but his designs were his designs for that time. And I think a lot of people credit Nkrumah for everything. When you got to realize that, the people that were working for roads and highways, the engineers, they were the ones that came up for it. Maybe, he sanctioned it.
Yeah.
But you got to think about those that actually designed it.
Yes, there's always somebody else.
So, there's always somebody else. So that is the mindset that you got to get. You got to get over, because it ain't easy. Ghana, you're always going to get people that challenge you, right? So what happens now is my finishing, like the guys that do my finishing, my POP, my skimming, they come from Togo.
They are the best workers.
My tilers are from Togo.
Yeah.
I use my Ghanaian workers are the builders, right? So the block layers, the guys that do the metal work and stuff like that. They're good at that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the finishing, I don't like people second guessing me. When I say, look, this is how I want it done.
Yeah.
The finishing needs to be this way. The Togolese, because I think their system is slightly different. I don't know how they were trained.
Yeah.
But they listen and they execute.
Yeah.
And they take pride in their work as well.
Yep.
Because even if you call them out and say, it's not really straight, they say, oh, sorry boss, I come back tomorrow, I come and do it for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if the accent was right, but you see what I'm
going with. Point,
it's they're perfectionists.
Yeah. That's definitely been my experience too. The Togolese are amazing. If you get a Togolese person working for you, you pretty much got it made. They are very, very good, and they're loyal. And they're the ones, they even sleep over so that they can be up early to continue the job. Like, they don't want anything, they just want to complete the job. And that's it, collect their money and go.
I brought in a team from Benin a few months ago. So where we're building our forever home in Insawam, this house is beautiful, it's huge. It's on a 7.5 acre land. So we got like farmland, we've got our chickens, our goats and everything. So we're gonna be moving there in September. But so I brought in these guys from Benin. They stayed on the property, made sure everything was done before they went back. They didn't complain, nothing. I paid them up front in terms of, we broke it down into 4. So I gave them the first set of money, and that's what they used to, they fed themselves. They did everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
When they're ready to leave, there's the last quarter, then they go.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah. But with Ghana, it just feels like it's a tussle.
It is.
Always. It's like, they see you as, he's got money. They envy what you have, but they don't understand the struggle.
To get it,
They don't understand what I've been through in order to get what I have.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No, it's very, very true. Just going back to when you said that, a lot of Ghanaians, because they're older than you, they think they know so much more, like they're so much wiser. Like, you could never reach that level of wisdom. I hate that thing so much.
It's annoying.
It's really annoying because they have such ego when it comes to it. Like, you can't speak. Somebody that comes out with a statement like that, you cannot talk to them. You're not going to get through to them because they're so set in their ways. And I actually feel like it has such impact on the country as a whole, because there are so many people that are like that. They believe that because they're older than you, they have respect and they can never lose it, and they know everything that there is to know in life. And it's such a disadvantage to Ghana.
Big time. Big time. It's definitely what's slowing the country down.
Yeah.
I'll give you a typical example. For me, people can call me out all day long. I don't really care. I am who I am. But the reality is this. When I drive around in my car, I've got a V8. I drive a big car as well. Do I feel like I'm the big guy? No. It's a vehicle. It's made out of metal and rubber. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not an extension of my body, right? So if I'm in traffic, then whoa. So the first thing I do, I look at the plate. If it's a police officer and he's like, there's a police escort, then I'll move to one side. If it's an ambulance, I move to one side. If it's just a V8, a black V8, anyone can put those lights in and they get away with it. Right? So I don't move. There's times where I've challenged people, like, we're in traffic and, the driver's like, So I got down from my car. I remember this was happening in Cooking. I remember getting down from the car. And I said, why have you got your lights on? He said, don't you know there's a MP at the back of the car? I said, yes. Listen to what you said. He's an MP. He's a member of parliament. He works for my taxes. Yeah? So let him sit in the car, turn your lights off, and shut up and follow the traffic like everybody else.
Did you?
Yeah. And I looked at the guy and he went,
no.
Yeah, he was and he switched off the lights real fast. When I jumped back in the car, the people that are looking around, they're like, yeah. Because Ghana, they don't like to challenge authority or what they see or deem as authority.
Yes.
I don't come from that. Number one, I don't. Your son's here. I don't want to say what I want to say, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm not one of those people that bend down to politicians because you work for the people.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about that.
I want to ask you something. Have you ever been arrested here?
Oh yeah. I spent a night in jail. It was hilarious.
Really?
But
why?
I had my phones on me, so I was talking to my wife. She was in America at the time. I was talking to my wife. I was like, until I fell asleep, woke up. So this was over a land situation. And the funny thing is, it was he was my business partner. I don't want to put his business out there, but the unfortunate thing was, I bought land. Yeah. Where I'm building now, right? So I bought land, he bought next door, and who he bought it from turned out to be a fraudster. But because he sent the money to me and I paid him, when he reported it to the police, they had no choice but to arrest me first before they got to the other guy. Yeah, and we fell out on the back of that, which is sad. But I know it was instigated by his now wife. But the good thing about it was that the land that I bought and that he bought, the actual owners of that whole 45 acres were my family members. Oh.
Yep,
they had the land dating back nearly over 100 years. Wow. So when we done the research and everything, and that's another thing I do want to put out there as well. When you're buying land in Ghana, because I've lost, I think, more than $25,000 on land acquisitions. Yeah, definitely do a search, because you might meet someone, even when you do a search, and the search report comes and you realize, okay, it belongs to this family. That person that they call themselves the head of the family don't have the right to sell it. Because you realize they're in disagreements with everyone else. And that's what's been happening. You know, so now, I've got enough. I'm not interested in buying anymore. If I was going to do a development, I'd rather do a joint venture. So you still own it. You know, I develop it, and after 30 years, it returns back to the family. You know, I'd rather do that than go through the whole, you know, fighting different family members just to find out who bought, you know, who actually owns it, who has the right to sell it. Not doing that. So so for the viewers, Ghana ain't easy, you know. Be very, very careful when you know, when they say there's free land over here. There ain't no free land.
There's nothing
you
like
pay
free.
for it.
There is nothing like free at all. They'll get the money from you one way or another.
Exactly.
So what was it like when you were in jail that time? You sound like you didn't really, not that you didn't take it seriously, but you had your phones. Like, what? Who goes to jail and has their phones?
No, you know, you know what's funny is with Ghana, the police, I don't know, it's accents scare people sometimes, right? Because there's this power dynamic that tends to happen. And I think if I was seen as an ordinary Ghanaian, I don't think they would allow me my phones. They wouldn't have allowed it. But I think they knew what was going on, because I think that one of them actually said to me that, you know, the guy who had you arrested, he paid the commander to have you locked up for 24 hours. Really? Yeah. So he's like, oh, don't worry, just chill. Tomorrow you'll be home. You know? But I made the necessary calls anyway. You know, because obviously I know people in the police force and stuff like that. So I made the necessary calls. The following day I was out. So it wasn't no issue. But what was humbling was the fact that I was in the police cell with two other guys, and my time there, I got to give advice to both of them. They were both young. One of them, I don't know what happened to him, but his story was disgusting. I think he was like 18 or so. He molested his 13-year-old sister. The father got to know, and the town people beat him up, and they put him in the police cell. So he was there on that child molestation stuff, right? And the other guy was, I think, something to do with he stole a motorbike or something like that. But he was, one of his legs was shorter than the other, so I think he was disabled. So, But anyway, you know, I got to give some advice. The other guy I couldn't speak for because I don't know anything about molestation. But the other, I gave my advice the best I could. But the other guy that was, he confessed. He was like, look, I did steal it. But the guy had done something to me, stole my money, so I stole his bike. It was one of those situations. But I told him, like, look, I advised him about his leg because he was like, well, it's hard to get work. And I said, listen, don't let that slow you down. I said, you know, outside of the country, you know, you have people in wheelchairs, they have respectable jobs. Someone who's got one arm, you know, they still have decent jobs. So don't see it as a disadvantage, even though it is on a physical thing. But you can get a job, or you can study for something and go for the job that you want to go for, you know. And I just hope just that amount of hours that I spent with them, that I impacted them in that way. And the thing is, with Ghana, you know, we come with an open heart. So we have this idea, that romanticism of coming over to Ghana, the motherland, to come and help. And a lot of us do. We come over, some people set up NGOs. You know, we have an NGO as well called Beds for Africa. So we manufacture beds for hospitals and stuff like that. That's something that my wife does. I do the manufacturing side. She does, you know, donating it to the hospitals, the ones in the rural areas, right? And it's sad because when you come over with that heart, after being, and I will use the word abused, because we do get abused, whether it's in the United States or in Europe, or in, you know, we're always seen as the other. We don't belong. So when we come back and we're like, okay, these are our people, we expect for them to go, oh, you know,
embrace us.
No. You know, there's always that, you have money, I see where you're coming from, I want some of that. So they use that naivety to draw money from it. And I do think a lot of people get caught up in that and end up, you know, they get stung and they disappear. Then they say, oh, forget Ghana, I'm not going back. They're just full of fraudsters. You know, which is a sad story. But I do, because I'm on quite a few platforms. I'm on, I think, Moving to Ghana. I'm on African Americans in Ghana. I'm in, quite a few. And I do give advice on these platforms. Some people are like, oh, you're just hating. Like, some women come over, some guys too, they come over with these ideas of, oh, you know, they're going to find their husband here and this. And I give blatant advice. Listen, I tell them straight. If you're coming to Ghana thinking that you're going to find a husband, especially these young boys out there with their six-pack and dreadlocks or whatever it is at the beach, you're going to get robbed.
Thank
right?
you. Yep.
I tell them, look, the best way to know if they're genuine, tell them that, look, you're coming, you're going to tear up your passport, and you're going to live as a Ghanaian, and you're not going back to the US, UK, Europe, wherever you come from. You will see them disappear out of your timeline real quick. You understand? And some people do appreciate the feedback, because, you know, sometimes they inbox me and go, I didn't want to say it on you know, but is that what really goes on? I tell them straight, yes, hell yeah. You know, because I don't like the idea of, because a lot of women come over here very vulnerable. Like, they've been through a lot of bad relationships wherever they're coming from, and they want something new. And don't get me wrong, there are some 2% of Ghanaians that are genuine.
2%.
No, I'm being real. There's 2%. And you know why?
Why?
I don't think Ghana, or I say Africa as a whole, was ever ready for social media. Let me explain. Ever since digitalization and the whole social media thing came to be, they got to see what was happening outside. And because of that, their thirst for certain things has gone up. So you get 13-year-old girls with an iPhone 15. You're like, where'd you get that from? You know, and you realize that she's done what she needs to do to get it. So she's sleeping with big men to get, you know, just because of that visualization of, oh, I want what they have in America. And that's why I said it should have been phased in. I just think it just landed and they're forced to deal with it. So people don't like to talk about it, but I think the prostitution rate has gone up in Ghana because of those things. And when I say prostitution, you don't need to be hanging out on the corner, you know, selling like you see in Osu and all those different places. No. If you're out there looking for older men to buy you this, to pay for your rent and blah, blah, I'm not being fine. That's glorified prostitution. Do you see what I'm saying? I understand it's what do you call it? Is a means to an end. But you have to question, what is it you want? Do you understand what I'm saying? If is it worth degrading yourself for an iPhone? Is it worth degrading yourself for Yeah, it's literally material things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that have an expiry date.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, because you got an iPhone 15, we're on iPhone 17 now. What
yeah,
are you gonna do?
yeah. At least get land or something. At least, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Make it worth it.
Make it worth it, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can buy you 2,000 blocks of cement that you can build a house with.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly,
You know?
exactly. I'm glad you said it because, you know, when I come onto this platform, right, and I say certain things, I get attacked all the time. You just are talking about negative things. I'm like, I'm trying to give people the real. So I'm glad that you sat here and just said what you said, because sometimes people don't want to hear the real. And, you know, there's a saying, if you don't want to hear, you'll feel. That's it. Simple. And that's what many people have to do, unfortunately. Yeah. So, but don't come and blame Ghana because you were warned. You were warned you don't want to hear it. So, you know. It's,
man, it's hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. My walk is different. I've always been the kind of person where, because obviously I was working in the music industry, so I spent a lot of time in America as well. So in terms of understanding the African American experience, you know, obviously my wife and obviously my daughter's African American as well. You know, I understand their walk. Yeah. UK will always be in me, but I do understand the African American struggle in terms of their history, what they went through, what they still go through, and what a lot of them are trying to get out of. When they see Africa now, what they were fed before, based on you know, misrepresentation through media. Yeah. You know, thankful that we have access to whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're seeing that, oh, there's buildings. Oh, they got Burger King. Oh, they got this, they got... So they can see that, you know, Africa is developing. So I question those that still want to hold on to the West when whatever you like about the West, you can make it here. So I tell people this.
And make bank.
Exactly. You know, say for example, and I'm saying this to any investor that wants to invest in Ghana, for example. Don't give the money to me. I'm not interested. I'm done. I'm not developing. I'm not. All the projects that I've got right now is I'm good, right? But I'll say this: there's certain lifestyle choices that people, well, I'll say comforts that people like. So. And that are really expensive here. Yeah. So if you want to take your children out to the swimming pool, if you take them to, let's say, the hotels and stuff, you're going to pay a lot of money. So if you could if someone came in and started to build a theme park that had a big swimming pool that the community can use and stuff, and it's not as expensive, you're going to make a lot of money. Because there are a lot more people in Ghana that will spend 10 cities to go to a pool than there are people that will spend 200 cities on one child. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, do the math. Target the majority and you'll make it.
That's very good advice, actually. You know? Very good advice. Has there ever been a time where you wanted to just pack up and leave Ghana?
Yes. When I've had... okay. Let me explain, right. So, I think my situation is different because I get to fly out every 3 months. So anytime it becomes a bit too... I'm on a plane to Florida straight. I'll just do 2 weeks and come back. Right. So it is important to refresh because certain things will just upset you, and it's something that's out of your control. Yeah. Okay. Typical example is this: we're in June and it's raining like crazy. You know, some roads are flooded. Lucky enough, where I live doesn't get flooded, but you might need to get to Malcolm or whatever, and it's flooded. So the traffic is a lot. Yeah. You know, so those kind of things do get on your nerves. But another thing as well is in our area, because they're widening. I'm just off Spintex. Lashibi Community 14, Tema. Okay. So it's just off the Tema motorway as well. So now because they're making the Tema motorway, I think 10 lanes. I think when they were digging it, they burst the pipe, right? So we haven't had water for about 2 months.
What?
Yeah, I kid you not. So then the lights keep on going off, on and off, on and off. And because the area is developing, they're saying there's too much demand on the electricity supply, so they're building more. They're installing more. What do they call those things? What's that? Like substations. Oh yeah. So it can accommodate all the different, the houses.
What is that going to take?
So it cuts off, and then I think some load shedding situation as well. But I mean, I have a big generator. I moved my generator from into home because I've got solar panels.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got solar panels on my property now. So, but at the, in Tema, we've got a plant. So anytime it goes out, I just turn on the generator. But the fact that you've taken away my electricity and now I don't have water is a problem. And
I can see.
My whole family's here as well.
Yeah.
So what happens is, anytime I come into town, which is nearly every day, I've got a lot of these paint buckets that that they use for the Andre. I've got about 20 or 30 of them. I just put it in the back of my truck. Anytime I go to the office, I just tell the security guy, fill it up for me. Then I go home, then it lasts about 3 days, then I just keep on doing that. Because what I didn't want to do is pay for them to come and fill the tank.
Yeah.
Because you don't know the source of where they get the water
that
from.
part. Yeah.
Someone told me that they caught a guy putting it in the gutter.
Huh?
And just was pulling water from, But they've got a filter system in there. And I'm like, from when he said that, I said, no. Let me go to where I have running water.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Take the water from there.
Take the water from them. And if it's every 3 days I need to top up, so be it. So if you're not used to it, it is exhausting. But for me, because I know I've committed to be here.
Yeah.
And I know this is only a temporary situation. They're going to fix the road. They're going to fix the pipe. And it's going to start flowing again.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those uncomfortable situations, that you have to deal with. But if you don't, then that's when sometimes I just jump on a plane and say, let me go hang out. Where there's air conditioning, water flowing, then come back. It's always good to reset. And it's also good to look at what's happening in the West. Because one of the things that I see here, remember I was saying about you can reinvent yourself? Yeah. You can see certain things that are in the West that are not here. Yeah. And it might be something small. Yeah. You come over, you start that as a business. Yeah. Bang. That's it. Because you're the first person to do it, you're going to be known for it. Yeah. Then and that's it.
Yep. Customers forever. Yep. That's it.
And for the builders out there, whether you're in America or in the UK, wherever you are, in the UK it's B&Q. In America it's Home Depot and Lowe's. Yeah. Right. We have something similar. It's called China Mall.
Exactly. Oh gosh.
So if all the tools that you need, we have it here. Yeah. Right. You don't need to ship it because that's what I did at the beginning. Yeah. I bought all my equipment from Home Depot. Yeah. Shipped it over, but here the current is 220.
Yeah. Over there it's
110.
Yeah.
So I had to use a step down. You don't need to do that anymore. You can buy everything at China Mall, and you can. And the great thing about it, what they have here, you can use to literally do manufacturing. So if you're into building chairs and stuff like that, they have the staple gun that you can use for the fabric. They have the planer. They've got all the things that you can set up a shop. Yeah. So even if you don't need to come to Ghana and want to be a baller, you can come and just set up what they call it, a furniture shop. With let's say £1,000 if you want to call it that, or $1,200, whatever the exchange rate is, and that's your industry, and that could be your side hustle for living here. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, especially if you know how to finish. If your finishing is good, people are going to buy it. Because if it looks good, it looks like it was imported in. Yeah, they're going to buy it. They're not going to question it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very true. Yeah.
So for those, for those watching, I would advise you all day long. If you're looking for a country that is safe, I forgot the name of this blogger. There was this blogger that came from Nigeria. When he flew in, he's like, wow, there's lights everywhere. Because, they got power situation over there, right? Serious. So he was like, oh, wow. And he said, oh, I see $3 billion naira walking free. He said, because in Nigeria sometimes they kidnap white people and hold them for ransom. In Ghana, you get white people that walk up and down, they're jogging, they're free. Freedom, so it shows you that the country is safe because obviously if foreigners are free to move around, then Ghana's a safe place. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm getting to. So
okay, nice. All right, so you have lots of projects going on at the moment. Tell me some of the main ones that you've got going on.
Right, so there's a big project I'm working on now, which is it was an old building that I'm repurposing as like a multi-complex. So it's going to be, the ground floor is going to be multi-units for retail outlets. The next level is going to be offices, then it's going to be apartments at the top.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then at the back, there's an old swimming pool that I'm refurbishing, so I'm going to turn that into, well, there's going to be a restaurant there as well, then a bar area. Then, kids can come and swim. It's not going to be these crazy prices to come and swim. Then there's, at the back as well, there's a large green area. It's roughly about an acre that we're going to use for soft play for children.
Oh, nice. What area is that?
Oh, it's on the Ring Road, coming from Circle.
Wow, that's amazing.
So hopefully by next year it should be complete. Then we'll be good to go.
Love that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So I'm going to continue to follow your journey. So I'm going to follow up with you and see some of the things that you got going on, so people can see it live in action. You know, I want to hear about the sweating that you're doing, the good times, all of it. You know, I want to see that journey unfold.
I haven't done it before, but my wife was telling me, why don't you document it, film it, put it online so people can see what's going on.
It's really interesting for people to see. It's really, people love to see other people's journeys, whether it's the ups, the downs, they just love to see the journey because it humanizes you.
I get it.
Not everybody has it perfect. We're tired of seeing people at the end of their journey where they've made it, but no one knows the struggle that came with it. We just take all that for granted.
The time I fell over the block and cracked my ankle, that should have been filmed as part of the narrative.
Right?
That is true. It is true.
People want to see that. So I'm looking forward to keeping up with you for sure.
No, definitely.
But where can people find you if they want to know a bit more about some of the stuff you're doing, want to get involved with you, maybe want to do business with you or whatever?
You can reach out to me. My handle, that's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
I'm showing my age.
My handle?
So it's just my name. I haven't got no fancy name or anything. It's just Gabriel Amma. So it's the name Gabriel, Gabriel, then Ammah. So it's at Gabriel Amma at Gabriel Amma. Whether it's on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. It's called X now, right? Right. So all my social medias is that. But can I plug one thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So basically, I have an artist right now. His name's Ray K. Alone. We've got a song out at the moment called "Love You From Far." It's based on relationships, okay, especially those relationships that involve maybe a Ghanaian and an American, or a Ghanaian and someone from the UK. It's about long distance relationships. They can work, all right? And I'm saying that because so I wrote the song because it was personal to me. Because for at least 3 years, my wife was living in the States, even though she flew over every month.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, So, lucky she was working for Delta Airlines at the time. She's retired now. But at the time, she used to select the flight to come to Ghana. So I'll see her for a couple of days and then she'll bounce. Then I will fly over. So we used to do that and that. So we did that for about 3 years, until our daughter came. Then COVID came. Then, she resigned. Not resigned, but she took the option to retire early. So Ray K. Alone. The song is called "Love You From Far." Take a listen, watch it, share it. I nearly said tweet it, Twitter it. Whatever you do on social media, please support. He's a good kid. And we've got a lot of good songs coming out soon, and the album's going to be great as well. So that's one of the things that I do, music as well.
Love it. Thank you so much for speaking to me today.
Thank you for inviting me, definitely.
All right, guys, that's the end. You've heard it all here. Please follow Gabriel on his socials. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do next. It's going to be amazing, I'm sure. He's had a great journey so far. But anyway, that's the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, we are out. Neti Papa.